Hi, I'm Susan. I trained with Mainstream Careers. I got my first interview after a week of our training. I got the job. I turned it down because it doesn't suit my lifestyle. I've got a young family. I applied for other jobs and I was offered two other interviews. I'm now a project manager, managing a project that is called GDPR, which is the Gender Data Protection Regulation. And I enjoy it. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for Mainstream Careers. They gave me support every time I have a question. I know there is a number to call and I always get help.
I'm not saying one of us is driven by passion. You wake us up in the mornings, you take the call to the candidates to support them to get to where they like to be.
Trainers are very insightful. They know what they're talking about.
They teach you what you would expect or prepare you to also function effectively when you get to the industry. If you want to get into IT industry, come to MS Careers.
Whoever is looking to become a business analyst, Mainstream Careers should be no one-stop training provider should use.
Excellence is the best that covers what you're going to get.
It wasn't that long to get the job. I got 3 job offers. I had interview on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I got offered 3 of them. Of them, chose the one which best suited me. Irrespective of what your background is, we specialize in giving you training and work experience for you to fully understand how all of these works before you can then go seek employment for yourself. In addition to that, we also provide support to you in terms of CV writing, interview preparation, and on-the-job mentorship. We mentor you when you start your first job as well.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Oh, wow, I've got a good number already. Hi, everyone. It's Fred here. It's good evening from the UK.
Good evening, Fred.
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Some of you might be good morning for you if you were on the other side of the Atlantic. And some of you might be good night. Now, I want to thank you for joining again. I'm just going to pull up the record that was sent for where people have joined in from for today's session. You know, last week we had a really good time and people had joined from quite a few places, but we have even more today. I understand in addition to what we had last week, there will be from Spain, Australia. We didn't have Australia last time, it's there today. Netherlands, Germany, and this is in addition to all that I mentioned last week, you know, UK, US, etc. So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Really glad you could make it. Now, remember what I said last week, it's a series, right? So it's not, we're not repeating what we did last week. What we did last week was good. We had really good feedback. So thank you for taking time to give us feedback. Some of you wrote me on the email, on my phone, on Instagram, on YouTube, everywhere. It was really encouraging, some of your phone calls. So thank you for that. Really appreciate that. So what we're going to do today is build on what we learned last week. You know, build on that. And then next week we'll build further. And then by the 4th week, we should have taken away quite a few things in the world of Agile. So without further ado, let's crack on. We only have 60 minutes for this. We're going to finish at 7 o'clock today. That's still me. Nothing's changed. I'm not going to spend time talking about me again. Gets a bit boring. Obviously, I stand in for Mainstream Careers Ltd, and we are an IT training company. Business analysis training, work experience, Agile Scrum, which is part of what you're doing now. The cybersecurity, robotics, the list is there and it's all on our website. So again, let's not spend time doing that because we've got limited time. And then what I want us to cover today is, as outlined here, we're going to start by a recap of last week. Now, we have sent you, if you register for the course, we sent you an email. Now, in that email, you'll find a link with which you can download the workbook for this week. We'll prepare the workbook for you. That workbook has a summary of last week's teachings. So if you can download it now, that would be great. If you have it printed, awesome. If not, have it electronically, that works. Now, Also, if you've got friends who might be interested in this, just send them a message quickly to say it's time that they can join now so that everyone can participate. So if you can get your workbook out, we're going to use it throughout today. That's a really good way of engaging people, being a virtual class. We don't want you, getting lost by what's happening where you basically are right now. So do a recap, and then we'll review your takeaway assignments. That's a piece of work I gave you last week. So we're going to look at what you did, maybe one person or two persons. Then I'll put mine up on the screen. Immediately after that, I will introduce you to what we want to talk about today, which is a different approach to product backlog creation. A bit more exciting, a bit more all-encompassing. And after that, I give you questions. I take questions from you and give you another assignment for you to take away, right? So assignments are a way of monitoring that you're actually getting it, and it's good practice for you as well. And then we should be done around about 7 o'clock. Okay, so today we're going to be a bit more organized. If you've got any questions, you're going to put up your hand, and we're going to put you off mute for you to speak. And then after that, we'll put you back on mute as well, so that the disturbance is reduced. Okay, so let's get straight into it. Last week we saw this scenario which we created. It's a local restaurant in Northampton. They've been in business for over 10 years. But because of the the lockdown, being a restaurant, they're not working anymore, money's not coming through. So they've approached us. They say they want a new functionality on their system and their website, which will allow customers to order food online and have it delivered to their doorsteps. That's a project, that's a scenario we base our teaching on. And last week we looked at this, you understood it, and you suggested that we need to set up a project for that, which is great. And then we defined the project as an endeavor that is aimed at achieving specific objectives, within a defined time frame and utilizing limited resources. That's how we define a project. So what we're doing definitely is an example of a project. And then we saw that the project can be delivered in steps. There are steps to follow. You have your analysis, which is where you put together your shopping list, right? What are we going to include in this product we're building? That's the analysis phase, or more popularly known as requirements gathering phase. Then after that, we go straight into design and development. So the shopping list that we put together, we use it to create a design and actually build the product. That's what we spoke about last week. Then after it's been built, we're going to carry out a level of testing to make sure that what we've built is actually fit for purpose. Then once all of that's done, we go straight away into implementation, get the business ready to start using the product. Those are the steps that we saw last week, and we say that to execute a project, most popularly, you can either use a waterfall approach to go through the steps you just saw, or you could use an agile approach. Now we saw that agile was a bit more flexible. Yes, waterfall is rigid. Agile is big bang. Waterfall is continuous delivery. It's quite iterative. And for the particular scenario we have on hand, we opted to go with agile. The reason we opted for agile, we are number one, it gives us a chance for quicker delivery. The lockdown will not be here forever. It cannot be here forever, right? So the restaurant we're working for have said they want to start using this functionality as soon as possible. Agile offers us that, to do something. Possibly in the next 2 weeks, we could have a delivery. We could have something. It might not be everything, but we will have something to deliver to them. Then we keep improving on that. So Agile seems sort of perfect for this. Is customer focused as well. So we opted for Agile last week, and then I asked you to tell me the key things we must have in place to start. The first thing you said was the shopping list, the product backlog, or the list of requirements, or the user stories, if you like. And that's what we have in number one there. Then we drilled a bit further into that to understand what that is. How do we collect this information? Do we just go to the business and say to them, give us a list of what you want, or is there a structure that we can use to understand what their shopping list is? and we decided to use a structured approach, rather than being unstructured, because there are advantages to being structured. So we chose a structured approach, which we refer to as the story mapping. Now, story mapping essentially, right on across the top, puts the user journey, the customer journey, right across the top, and then underneath the high level user journey, you will then have the list of functionalities that they would want on the product to be able to meet that customer journey. So in our very example last week, the journey we saw was they will get to the website, customers will get to the website, they will search for the meals, they will do meal review, and they will do checkout. You could have put this differently as well. It doesn't have to be like this, right? That's the beauty of Agile. But we went with this. So under the search meals feature, we then have various user stories, various functionalities that we would want to help us achieve that. Then we went to meals, review, and then checkout as well. That's what we did. The last thing I'm going to say about this slide before we move on is that what the business really wanted right on top there, which is ability to giving customers ability to place order for food online, that is called the epic. So right on top here, where my cursor is moving around, you have your epic, really big. Then beneath the epic, then you have the features. So what we have here is really the features. When we speak about the customer journey, those are the features there. Then right under that, you then have your user stories. From this list we have here, you came up with really good example user stories, such as the ones on your screen right now. I'd like to remind you that this recording from last week is on our YouTube page, so please find yourself there, subscribe to the channel, and watch the video. Remind yourself of what we learned, and that would be good. It'd be great if you share them as well. So that's how far we got last week. I'm going to shut up now and see if you have any questions for me based on what we did last week before we crack on to today's work. Okay, while that's coming, this is the scenario I gave you for your takeaway last week. And I understand a lot of you have actually done some work on this. So thank you so much for doing that. It's really cool. Now it's time to see what you did. We're going to see from just one person because of time. So if anyone wants to talk us through, you can't share your screen, but if you want to talk us through what you've done, put your hand up electronically, not physically. Put your hand up virtually using the features on the WebEx platform, and we're going to unmute you to share what you did, and then I'll put mine up, and then we'll move on to today. So if you could put up your hand, please, if anyone's done it and you want to talk us through what you've done. Yeah, someone's raised their hand. Shaim Bashki has raised their hand. If we can unmute him, please. And some of you say you didn't get the link. Apologies for that.
Hello, Fred. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, Shaim, go ahead. We can hear you.
Read this epic in brief, and it says that the BSP Bank is a bank in UK, and they want to offer a new service in their existing list of services, where they would offer the customers with contactless travel cards.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID-19 lockdown situation. And these travel cards which will be of different classes and levels, and will be available at different cost and benefits. And this card could only be purchased by logging in online services, and then the card will be delivered to the customer once they order it by post.
Correct. Yeah. Perfect. So did you manage to go through the story map? Did you create anything you want to share?
Yes, I did. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll just share that with you.
So what were your, obviously we know the epic already, which is...
Yes, I'm not able to, I think my screen is frozen because I'm not a presenter. I can't share my screen.
That's fine. Just talk us through it. So what were the...
So what I did is I did a story mapping for contactless travel cards, wherein in my Epic, just at the top column,
Yeah.
I had a login to bank website, find the travel card,
Okay.
examine the travel card,
Okay.
add to basket,
Okay.
order the travel card and pay,
Right. Okay.
delivery options, and complete order.
So all of these, can you see my screen still, Sham? All of these were they at this level, this high level here, where I have my search meals and new reviews.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And then what I did was beneath every section,
Yeah.
I just added my thoughts. So like, for example, log into bank website, the user stories that could link to that would be like register as a new customer, existing customer login, signing in with username and password. So then find the travel card would be the stories that goes beneath it would be the features. So I would say browse the list of services,
Yeah. Yeah.
basic search, and travel card recommendations, where we can have like a pop-up kind of link on the website.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Sham. Really appreciate that. And that
Yeah.
sounds really cool. That's
Thank you.
really cool. I don't know what people on the call are thinking, but I think that sounds cool. The only thing I would have done maybe a bit differently, if everyone can go mute now, please. Thank you. So the only thing maybe I would have done a bit differently is your list of features. I'll probably pull it up a little bit, make it a bit more high level. Now, the reason I'm suggesting that and making your list of features, the customer journey high level, is so that you can then fit in your user stories underneath those. Because a lot of what you mentioned, I thought could have passed for user stories to see under the journey, but it is agile, right? So lots of flexibility. So this is what I did. This is what I did, and like I said, if you have not done it like this, it does not mean you've done it wrongly. It doesn't mean that, right? It is agile, right? Provided what you've done can lead to a successful delivery. So what we've done here is at our Epic, obviously, is enable customers to purchase travel card from our website. So that was in the question already. That's the Epic. Then underneath that, we've got a list of features. Now, the features we had here were ability to search cards, which follows the customer journey, search cards, consider reviews, checkout. Now, we did this thinking from the customer's perspective. So if I went, for example, to American Express website to get a new credit card from them, what do I have to do first? I think the person is to search for a card. Do I want a gold card or do I want a platinum card? Or am I looking at cards based on rewards or based on the credit limit? What is it that I'm doing? Once I'm sorted with that, then I will drill down into that gold card I've chosen to read a bit more about the reviews, look at the aesthetics if it's important to me, to compare cards with cards, etc. Compare the interest rates, etc. Once I'm done with all of that, I will select one, maybe the British Airways one, American Express, because it's the cheapest for me. I don't care about aesthetics. I just want a cheap one. I choose that one. What's the next thing I do from a user journey? I'll check out. Now, checkout includes making payments or putting my repayment details, putting my delivery details, etc. So for us, that's what we thought about. So we had sort of that high level search cards, consider reviews, then checkout. Then under that, we had the little bits which would then form our user stories ultimately. Any questions on that or feedback on that? Okay, perfect. So hopefully, you could look through this and then see how that compares to what you've done. Like I said, it doesn't have to be 100% like this, right? It doesn't have to be. Now, today's meeting is being recorded as well. Soon after the call, we will make it available on YouTube, so you can go straight to our channel, which is at MS Careers, and play it back to share with your friends, etc. No.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. I'm sorry I'm joining in late.
Go for it. Go for it,
All
Bookie.
right then. I noticed that the examples we gave for we talked about the last one we epic that we talked about when we're doing user stories. We only picked one filter item. Is it possible to pick like a filter item from each of the things like search card, consider reviews, and everything, so that I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like we talked about bear with me. I would like, as a customer, I would like to filter by choice or filter by price so that I can make a choice. Or can I say I want to filter by price, view the picture and edit it so that like that. Does it have to be just one item I can pick?
Oh, no, no, no. It doesn't have to be one item. It could be multiple items. It could be, yeah. It's up to the vision of the business, you see. So that's a really good question, Bookie. I'm glad you asked. It's up to the vision of the business. What exactly do they want customers to be able to do? Whatever it is, that is what you're going to list there. All right, Bookie? That is
All right,
what
thank
you're going to
you.
list. I'm really glad you asked that question. So going straight then into today, now last week we looked at story mapping. Today we'll look at a different approach that you could use to do this as well, right? And what we're going to look at today is impact mapping. Impact mapping. Now this is also in your workbook. This is in your workbook. If you have it printed, you could pull it out now. If you don't, it's fine. You can have it electronically or even just refer to mine on the screen as well. This is impact mapping, and I'm going to say a few things about impact map before we proceed. Now, impact map is a really cool way of doing what we're trying to do as well, but it's a bit more all encompassing. The one we looked at last week, story map, is rather direct. It goes straight to do the job, which is to help you understand the requirements or the user stories. But this is a bit holistic. This looks beyond just the product you're building. It looks at the vision. Why are we doing what we are doing? Why do we want to give customers the ability to place order online and have it delivered to their homes? Why do we want to do that? If we do that, who can be part of that journey? Who has a role to play to have the achievements of that? How do we achieve that? If we do that, what does that mean to the business? What value does that add to the business? And what exactly do we need to do anyway? These are the kind of questions that impact mapping answers. Some of these questions, the story map does not answer that, but the impact map answers a bit more questions than the story map. And I can imagine the kind of questions coming up in your mind shortly. I will answer them, and then we'll take more questions at the end as well. Okay, so you see what's going on here. In the story map we saw, it went straight to the features and functionalities of the product. It did not answer the question of why are we building this. It does not tell us what the value will be to the business. It tells us what the value will be to the customer, but not to the business. It doesn't. So it depends for what purpose you're putting this together, especially at a strategic level. I think this would be of great value. Because if you take a story map to an executive, he's going to go, right, okay, I get it. So what? What does it mean to me in numbers? What does it mean to me in pounds and pence or in dollars? It doesn't answer that question. But the one on the screen right now does answer that question. Okay. So let's get into it because we have to propagate all of this today by ourselves, this group, before we finish. So the first question, which is the most important question to ask, is why? Why are we doing this? Why do we want to enable customers to be able to place order on our website and have the meals delivered to them? Why do we want to do that? So at a strategic level, a decision may have been made that, oh, do you know what? Before the end of the COVID-19 lockdown, we want to grow our sales by 30%. That is the why. That is the vision. Now, a lot of you who work in project environments, you'll be thinking right now, but we don't really do this. We don't get into the whys. Yeah, and the reason for that is that why question has already been answered before your project was set up, right? So, yeah, we need some people. Can you give me if you're not speak, until you actually speak, please? So before a project is set up, so maybe you're working for Barclays or for Lloyds Bank or for the council, etc., and there is a project you're working on. Before that project was set up, before funding was released for that project, the why question was already answered by the guys at the top to say, right, we're going to set up this project. Why? So that we can achieve compliance with the regulatory requirements. Why? So that we can grow our sales. Why? So that we can reduce our expenses, etc. So the impact mapping answers that why question, and that is what we have here. And based on the scenario we have seen already, we'll keep going with that scenario. They want to grow sales by 30%. Right now, they're making no money, but they want to take it up from 0 to 30 by the end of the lockdown, whenever that is, right? So that is the why. Now, the next question to be asked is, who are the players, who are the key actors that can help achieve this, who will do something to be able, to support us achieve this sales growth of 30% that we are envisioning for the next, even say next few weeks, right? Who's going to play a role in that? Them people will be listed on here. And I want you to start thinking about it, because in a moment, I'll start asking you, and then you tell me, we'll put it here, and then we'll go on a journey, right? So start thinking, for this restaurant, local restaurant in Northampton, they are currently not selling anything, but they want to grow revenue by 30% in the next month. Who are the key players that could help them achieve that? I will come to you in a moment. Then after that, we will then go to think about what is it that we need to put on the website to help achieve. Guys, can we still unmute, please? Thank you. Thank you. So we need to put in the website. What are the functionalities now, right? The functionalities will come in the what area of this chart. And then in the middle, have the how. What does it mean to the business if we put these functionalities in here to allow people, for example, to filter by meal type? What does that mean to the business? What value does that add to the business? That will come under the how, right? That will then come under the how. So let me recap, and then I'll ask you to start suggesting so that we'll populate this thing. The why is the vision that the business has, and we already have the answer to that. So that's on the screen already. And then after that, we have the who. So these are the actors that will have a role to play in helping us achieve this vision. So the actors who can make an impact on the outcome. I'll give you an obvious example. Maybe I shouldn't. I'll just let you think it up, right? Now, in this case, I'm acting as the facilitator, and you are members of the business. So you have to give me the information to put here, right? And then we go to the how. So the how is the business goal, whether it's positive or negative, and what impact it will have on the actor's behavior. So what does that mean to the business? That is what will come in the how. I'll give you an example later. And then the what is, what do we want in the system that we're building that would then help the actors to behave the way we want them to behave. So essentially, the deliverables. Okay, so let me give you an example so that it can get you thinking. An obvious example will be thinking about this particular feature. So if I dismiss this, so that neither I decline this. To help us, this will be existing customers, right? So if I say existing customers there, because they already have customers who are existing, but they're just not shopping at the moment because of the lockdown, right? If we say the existing customers, and what we really want is existing.
Sorry, hi. My name is Joanna Diokun. Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to ask a question.
Oh, please go ahead. Please, Joe.
So, what I was going to ask is, in this what, is it not supposed to be the customer user stories that go into the what? Like, what we're trying to achieve, is that not meant to come from the customer's perspective, basically?
Good question. Yes, it should. It should. Now, In reality, however, you find that you may not have access to the customers, right? So in reality, you may find that those information are most times being given to you by the business who serve the customers, right? It is called the user stories, and therefore really should come from the actual user. But sometimes, most times actually, you may not in a real project environment, you may not have access to those end users, and then that information would then have to come from the business. If you do have access to the user, perfect. That's all well and good. You get it from them. Problem with that again is they might start giving you things that are not achievable, things that are way beyond your budget, etc. Do you see? So, but whatever the case is, the information needs to come from either the users or the representatives of the user community, which most times will be the business. That's a really good question. I'm glad you asked that question. Thank you.
I'm a little bit confused about the
Oh,
how. He's been confused about the how.
yeah.
I
I'll put an example up now and it will make a bit more sense. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Let me put an example there. So if we say that a who, an example of a who is existing customers. Now, what exactly is it that we want the customers to do, existing customers to do, and how will that help us? How will that help us grow our sales by 30%? An example of what we want them to do might be for them to resume patronage. If, if I can spell it. Yes, I can actually. It could be for them to resume patronage, right? This is the how, Joanne, the how is written from a business perspective, not from a customer's perspective. What is from customer's perspective, or how is from also, how will this action help us achieve our why? So this example is resume patronage. If they resume patronage, that is a how. It can begin to help us achieve our why, which is to grow sales by 30%. So, but what exactly, to your point, can we allow the customers do on the website that would then encourage them to resume patronage, which will in turn help us grow our sales? Let's give an example. How about we give them a welcome back discount? So if you're an existing customer and you left and you're coming back, guess what? You're getting 10% off or 30%, whatever they decide to do. So what that means is that on the website, when we're building this website, we're going to have a little section there to say if you're an existing customer and you're coming back, click on here for your welcome back discount. And that hopefully will encourage them to spend more money. And then as they spend more money, we are growing our sales. So it works back to that and that and to that. Does that make a bit more sense? Does that clarify, Joanne, that asked a question earlier?
Yes, it does. So what I seem to understand is the who is the existing customers.
Yeah.
That's the customers that we're trying to improve their business, if I'm correct.
Oh, no. Customer here means member of the public who is hungry, a hungry guy on the streets.
Okay, that's the customer.
Yeah.
The how comes from our side of the business. We who are trying to solve, we are trying to brainstorm to find out how we're going to, push this particular project forward. And then the what comes from the perspective of the customer, like the customer user story.
100%. The what is from a user's perspective. Just call it user story. The what is the user story, will become the user story. The how is from the business perspective, the restaurant's perspective. The how represents the restaurant's interest. The restaurant wants the customers or the existing customers or the hungry guy on the street to resume patronage, to come back to them and spend more money, right? Buying food from them online. The who are the people that will have a role to play in this whole journey to help the business to grow their sales. And then, of course, the why is the vision that will be put together by the business, in this case, the restaurant. And they've said they want to grow by 30%.
Okay, so the who are the resources, or the who are the existing customers of the business.
Yes, existing customers is one example of the who, but yeah, you're right. So it's the resources, the human resources, the factors that will have a role to play in helping the restaurant achieve their growth sales in the next 4 weeks. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Right. So let's have a
Fred,
think.
Fred, sorry, just to cut you short there. So, would you say, in summary, that the who are the stakeholders?
Yes. Yeah, but I'm a little bit careful with that word stakeholder because it means different things to different people, especially those of you who work in project environments. I don't want you restricting it to the stakeholders that you know in your project environment. But yes is the answer to that question. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Fred. Sorry, just one question. Sorry, just one question. So when you spoke earlier about having the what, sorry, being the deliverables, and sometimes it may come from the customer if you have access to be able to obtain that, and but more time it will come from inside the business.
Yeah.
And I think I just wanted to clarify confusion I've had for a long time. So when it comes from the business, are those what we call the lead users?
And this is what we call what?
The lead user.
Okay, so it could be some deliverables that we build in projects could be for internal use, and then in that case you have your internal customers. Other times the deliverables will be for literally customers on the streets. Let's say you a bank and you're building a mobile app. It's literally for the customers on the street. Most times you may not be able to access those customers on the street sometimes. So what do? You go to the business people within the organization to get the requirements from them on behalf of the customers.
So what do you call those people that you go to within the organization?
Business could be users, it could be SMEs, it could be the different terminology. It depends on who they are and who you work for. Yeah.
All right.
And
Thank you,
it
Tim.
could be lead users as well, as you put it, Mary. It could.
Thanks, Brad. Cheers. Let me mute myself now.
Thank you. Right, guys, let's keep our questions to the end. You have ample time to ask questions. Let me just get through this. And so that's one good example for you there. I'm going to recap this example, then I'll ask you to tell me what to put in the rest of the block, starting with the first one we are in now. So be thinking about it. So the why is the vision, right? What is it that we're trying to achieve? The business here, they want to grow their sales by 30%. Now, it could be a compliance project, in which case the last project I've done that we used this was a regulatory project. And the why was quite simple. One, achieve compliance with a particular regulation. That was the why, right? And then we went ahead to list out the who. Who's going to play a role in this? Oh, compliance officer has a role to play. Oh, the business managers have a role to play. The frontline staff have a role to play. All these people have something to do. So those are the who's that we listed. And then we went ahead to say, what exactly do we want them to do? What is it? So listening is a really cool way of putting together, both for strategic purposes and even non-strategic purposes. It will also show you what your user stories are. So it does a bit more than that, but it also shows you that. Okay, perfect. So that is that example there for you. I'm going to ask someone, whoever, put up your hand if you want to speak now and give us information, particularly for this next box. So we already know who the who is. For this top one is the existing customer. We know one how. Now we're going to think about another how or another what. So Temi has raised their hand. If we can put Temi off mute so that they can speak. And then that way we can begin to with this. Hi, Temi.
Now, for the how, I would say referrals.
I like that. I really like that. So what Temi? Thank you, Temi. So what Temi is saying there is, I'm an existing customer of this business. I'm back there, and maybe one good thing that existing customer could do for us as a business is to refer their friends. Okay, perfect. And so let's say refer friends. And what are you thinking in terms of the what for that, the deliverable for that?
like some kind of discount that would also go to both the customer and the people that have been referred.
So should we say a referral bonus? Yeah.
Yes.
Something like that. So hey guys, come back to our restaurant. If you come back, we give you £10 off, and we give, if you refer someone, we give that person £10 off as well. Boom. If that is done, if that is put on that website, the what, it will encourage existing customers to not just come back, but to also want to refer their friends, which is achieve their sales target growth of 20%. Brilliant. Thanks, Tenny. That's perfect. That's really good. That's really good. Anyone else want to share something? Now need to think of another actor or another who, and then we'll walk through all of that cycle. This is good. This is exciting.
Tonya can speak now.
Oh no, I was going to say something about the existing customer. Actually, I haven't thought about anything.
No. Go on, Tonya. No, definitely.
What I actually thought about the existing customer was more around feedback in the how.
That works as well. We could do that. So you see, and Tonya, thank you so much. So that clearly shows that I've put 2 boxes here, but it can be limited. It can be unlimited. Sorry, it could be 10 boxes, could be 100 boxes. So many things that the customers could do to help us achieve our vision. So many things. So that's another example. Right? Feedback. Right? If we get good feedback, the whole world's going to see it, and that does us good. Right? So perfect. Right? Anyone else ready to go to the next empty box? Another actor, another who? Stan has raised their hand. One Eyes has raised their hand as well.
Hi guys, hi Fred. I would say new customers, because as much as we want to retain or encourage our existing customers, at the same time we want to expand our business. So we want to expand our customer base, irrespective of the demographic. So I would say new customer for the whole.
Spot on. Thank you, Sandy. I like that. So new customers. So what are you thinking then? How can these new customers help us do something? What is it they can help us achieve? Sorry, how can they help us achieve our vision here? And then we'll go to the what.
Okay. Sorry, Fred, is that question referred to me?
Anyone. It could be you if you have something to share. Yeah. Okay.
I won't be at whatever twist then.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. I think Stan's gone. Let's go to someone else if Stan's all right. Thank you. So what this typically, now lots of you work in project environments, so you already know what I'm about to say, but I'll say it anyway because I've got a mixed audience here. What we're doing now will happen in a workshop setting. It is brainstorming. So you, as a as a project specialist, maybe a business analyst, a product owner, whatever you are, you will be facilitating, as I am facilitating right now, and the information usually will come from the people that you're facilitating the workshop with. And in this case, I'm facilitating with you, and it seems to be coming from you rather nicely as well, which is great news. So I'm facilitating, which you will be doing in the real job, and then the business will be sat down brainstorming, but you will help them to think, and come up with that information. Okay, so TJ, can you unmute someone so that they can speak? A few hands up.
Fred, this is Mike. So I'm wondering, like, new customers can bring new business ideas.
Yeah. Business idea. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's good. Thank you, Michael. And sort of Stanley kind of mentioned this as well. So in getting new customers, what that means for us as a business is that we're winning new patronage. We're getting new patronage, right? And when we get new patronage added to the existing ones, then that will ultimately help our sales grow. So, but what is it? What are the deliverables? What is it that we can offer these customers on the website to encourage them to actually, so that we can actually win their business, right? can we?
Lola can speak now. Lola.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Okay, yeah, so I think we could offer the new customers, like, probably if they order 5 items, they could get something free, or if they order like 5 items, they could get a particular discount
Yeah.
on what they order.
Yeah. Okay. That's brilliant, Lola. Thank you. So should I call it multi-buy discount, something like that? Yeah. So what this means is, guys, I hope it's making sense. Let me put this in perspective before we continue, so that we don't lose anyone. What this means is that when we now start building the website or adding this new functionality, all these items you have in what will actually be built in the website. If you go on the website, you will see these things on there on the website. And once the customers use these things on the website, it means for the business that the business will gain these things that are under the how. The business will gain resumed patronage, will gain referred friends, they will win new patronage, etc. And these in turn will help them grow their sales by 30%. Okay, so this is a really good structured way of going about it, so that we'll get good value for the business. So good, thanks, Lola. Any more to add in there?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, can we have a kind of loyalty card for new customers, please?
Let's do that. That sounds good to me. That sounds good, because it will keep them coming, right? Loyalty cards. Yeah, good, perfect. Okay, so let's move away from
free delivery as well.
Yeah, why not?
But multiple buys, that means if you buy about 5 goods, you get about 2 free deliveries, which will make you come back for more. And you know you're getting a free delivery as well.
Okay. Hopefully that keeps the business, because you're trying to raise revenue. Hopefully that doesn't take away the revenue, but I'll put that down in red. Okay, perfect. So let's quickly go to the last two who's. What other who are you thinking of, guys?
Hi, this is Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, I'm thinking of vendors or suppliers.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, the vendors or the suppliers. The suppliers, some of our inventories that we don't have as we're going out of stock. So so the vendors will be part of the who. How the vendors can help us is we look at our inventories and take stock all the time and see ways to increase our stock so that we don't go out of stock.
Yeah.
Then for the what is we also patronize our vendors. They also increase their revenue while we also increase ours too.
Okay, perfect. Greg, thank you for raising that. I really appreciate that. But quick question for you, Greg. Let's think about more comments than question. We need to think about, from a work perspective, we need to think about the website, the product we're building, in this case, the website. What is it that we can put on there for the vendors? Do you see? What is it? That's the only reason I'm maybe hesitating in putting vendors there. Why I agree they play a role, but for this particular delivery, maybe they might not need to come on this chart. You see? So let's any more clues that you want to give me, guys?
Involve the payment on the system.
Okay, good. Yeah, we could do that. What did you call it? Payment what?
Payment
gateway, whatever. Like
gateway,
yeah. Okay. So what is it that we, or how is that going to help us?
It would help to make it easier for customers to pay for the product they bought.
So that we're contactless, and then people are right to come to us. They don't have to give us cash. So what are the deliverables we have to put on the website to help us achieve that?
Your payment.
What was that? Sorry.
Your payments vendor.
Yeah, I think this is good. Perfect. Okay. What? Any more on that payment? Can we think about? Yeah, it could be anything, right? Okay, perfect. I like that. Now,
Fred, sorry, I unfortunately can't find the icon to put your hands up, so apologies to everyone. I don't know what I can't find it, so I'm not able to raise my hand.
It's all right. It's all right.
But I had a quick question about the who. So I thought who were actual people. So when you say payment platform, I just wanted to understand why would that come under who? So
Yeah.
I'm just thinking when you say who, I thought maybe you're talking about actual players. So
Yeah.
if you can, please, thank you.
No, definitely, Mary. Thank you for that question. So who, really, generally speaking, are actors, right? So the actors that have a role to play in achieving what we've defined there. Now, in this world of IT, we refer to actors as either human actors or system actors. Now, in this case, payment platform, he's who said that? I think it was Bola. They brought that. Babs has brought that in as a system actor, and that was perfect
Okay.
because they definitely have a role to play. It can be human, it can be system actors as well.
Okay, great, thanks.
Right. So let's think about the last actor. There is a key actor that I really want to get on there, guys. Help me.
Can I try?
Yes. Yeah.
Hello. All right. Could it be like advertising agencies or rating agencies?
We can do, but that, yeah, we can do. But let's bring it a bit closer. There are still more important ones than those.
Hello,
I
Fred.
was thinking of IT support.
Good, yeah. Let's think.
Hello, Fred.
Hi.
This is Kenny. I would say the front office staffs.
Yes, delivery. Remember, I don't know who said that, but remember, it is what do you say? People are not coming to the shop, so we don't really need the front office staff. We're going to have here will be the delivery guy, the driver, right? The delivery guy. That is.
Thinking of timer.
Yeah.
Which time the food will be is going to be on your doorstep, so you won't really time precisely.
100% driver, yeah. So driver or delivery guy, let's say that they mean the same thing. So that's another critical who. In my head, I'm thinking the chef might be a critical who here as well. I'm thinking the chef might be a critical who. So there's so many who's, you see. There's so many who's. But let's go with the delivery guy, right? So Chris or whoever else that spoke or that wants to speak, how are they going to help? What is it that they're going to help?
Really simple. Because a good example is let's say you order food right now and you're really hungry, and it shows okay the food you order was at 5:15, and the food is going to be at your doorstep at 5:25. So in that time range, you've been able to say okay, in the next 15 minutes the food is going to be at your doorstep. And secondly, it gives you an opportunity to know where the person is on the map. So precisely when you order the food, you know where the food is being processed, and it goes in stages. He has left the restaurant, is with the driver, from the driver is on your doorstep. So I'm just thinking, I don't know how I'm gonna call that. But
I think I get it. I think I get it. So in my job as part of this role play we're doing now, it's my job to take the information you've given me on and tell me properly. So I've called it delivery tracking, right? So that's exactly what you're going to do, Chris, when you're facilitating with the business. They will tell you story and then you pull out from what they said. Does that make sense? You pull out the key thing from what they've said. So you said all the lovely stuff you said there, and the key thing I take away from that is delivery tracking. So as a customer, I want to be able to track my delivery from the moment I place the order until it gets to my doorstep. I want to track it. A good example of that is Domino's Pizza. They do that really well. They tell you when it's been made, when it's in the oven, when it's been packaged, when they left the store and they're on the way to you, and of course when they arrive at yours. So that's perfect. I like that. But that last question then is how will that actually help us to improve as we're trying to? How would that, if we have a good delivery tracking, how's that going to help us? That is the key question here. How's that going to help us?
It help with expectation. Help manage expectation, so they won't be inundated with necessary angry customers.
Okay, thank you, Babs. Yeah. So yeah.
I think.
Hello, Fred. Hello, Fred.
Go ahead.
Fred.
Hey, Adeyemi, go ahead.
Hello, Fred.
No, I was going.
Hey, we can hear you, sir. Okay, guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can.
So
Hello, Fred.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Rashid.
Hey, Rashid.
Yeah, regarding your last question, what the delivery tracking will do, we give the customer confidence. They're sure that when they take 20 minutes, the food will come in 20 minutes.
Perfect.
Like I have an experience with a restaurant in Coventry. I do if I want food in an hour's time, I always book like 1 hour 30 minutes because they tell you 30 minutes and you have to wait. But that tracking we give you and they stick to it, we give you the confidence to always order with the
I
customer.
like that. Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, I'm conscious of time. We've got 5 minutes, but
Fred, can you hear me?
guys, can we still mute, please? This is a really good approach to putting this together, right? Now, guys, I want you to think about something. Can you see user stories in here? Can you see user stories in here? We remember to write a good user story, what you really need are the who, the what, and the why, right? So my question is, looking at this, can you see really good user stories? It's right in front of you. It's getting me excited. Can you see it? Can Yuri Badamosi, can you come off mute and give us one example? Then Rex, you can give us another example. Because it's staring in our faces right now. This makes it really easy to pull out user stories.
I wasn't expected to be called out. Okay. As a user,
yes. Should I
like to track my food.
Good.
So I know when my food will be delivered.
I would.
Or I want to track my food so I know when my food will be delivered.
Track the delivery of my meal so that I can know when it will arrive. I like that. I really like that. It's staring in our faces. Rex, do you want to give us another one?
Yes, Fred. As a user, I want to. Can you go back to that screen, please? Yeah, thank you, Fred. Okay, as a user, I want to be able to select the form of payment so that I can make my payment.
I want to be presented with a choice of payment options, right? So that I can, I'm trying to type fast, so that I can make a choice. Right, we're going to stop at those two because of time. Now, let me take you back and show you where they've taken it from. Rex has taken his from secure payment, and Yuri has taken his, what was the user story again? Track delivery from the last one. So each of these words becomes a user story. The what is there already for you. You've done the hard work. The who is there already for you. As a matter of fact, yeah, you could have used the delivery guy as your who. So the only thing you need to come up with is the why, because the why here is an internal why, but you need an external why, right? You need an external why, not an internal one. So the ones Yuri and Rex gave us now are perfect. Beautiful external whys. The who's here, the what's here, put them together, right? So we may have time to take one or two questions. So if you have a question, put your hand up before I give you your take-home assignment. Please don't drop off yet. I've got a take-home assignment to give you. So let's take one question.
Hi, Fred.
Hi.
Sorry, I just wanted to come over again, go back on what you just said about getting external
whys. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure, Charles, thank you for asking. So the why that we listed here for you is an internal why. When I say internal, I mean it's a why from the perspective of the business, of the restaurant. Why are they doing this? They want to grow sales by 30%. But the user stories they just gave us are from an external perspective, from the user's perspective, I should have said. So the why in that user story should come from the user's perspective. As a user, I want to be able to track the delivery of my meal. Why? So that I can know when it's coming to my doorstep. So it's a user's why, not a business why. That's what I mean by that. Okay.
I'm sorry. I have a very good one. So I feel a good external why would be to be able to increase the company's public image.
Good.
It's 7 o'clock. Because a good example would be if they know, like for example, someone said that he knows that the company does late delivery. That's a public image they have. So if you're fast with your delivery, it makes it more quicker, and you're known for that. That's public image.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. So, guys, here's what we're going to do. On the screen right now is your takeaway for this week. I'm sorry I keep giving you unhealthy food. That rice looks nice, but I'm not sure it's very healthy. So, this is your takeaway for this week. I want you to go away, practice this, right? And then you have lots of opportunity to ask questions on YouTube. I'm going to put this on YouTube later on today. You go there, you watch it again, come to this page and do your assignment. It's going to do you good. It's going to do you good if you do all of these assignments. Now, I'm being told now that there are several of you you're not watching alone. You're watching in your groups. You're watching in groups. I want to say a big thank you. I want to say a big thank you for organizing the people to participate with you. Some are watching like really large groups. So thank you so much for everything that you've done to empower people, to give people this knowledge. And just make sure you do this exercise that I've given you. And when we gather again next Tuesday, we're gonna take it even a step higher. So make sure you've understood what we did this week, because we're gonna up next week, right? So do the exercise, read up a bit more about this on the internet, ask me questions, right? Ask me questions on YouTube, leave your questions there as comments. I am constantly there reviewing the comments, providing responses. So make sure you do that. It's a really good opportunity. And also share this with your friends. Ask them to participate next week. It's gonna do them good. If they have interest in this, let them join us next week. There will be something really, really cool for them, for everyone next week. I'm excited about next week already. So next week, 6 p.m. we'll be on again. All right. Now we've run out of time and we must close down. We've got other engagements at 7. But like I said, I'll take your questions on YouTube, so leave them on there as comments. And
sorry, Fred, what's your YouTube ID? What's your YouTube ID, Fred?
MS Careers, it's just on the screen. MS Careers. So just subscribe to that channel, guys. All right. Thank you very much. I'll see you again next Wednesday. Thank you very much,
Fred. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, Fred. Bye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Fred.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah, thank you,
Fred. Bye.
Fred, appreciate that.
Thank you, Fredo.
Fred, nice.
Thanks, Twinny.
Thanks, Fred. Bye.
Bye.
Twinny.
Hey, Twinny. How's it going?
Cool. How are you too?
I'm all right. I'll write you on Instagram. I'll write you shortly.
All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you, Fred. Thank you, Fred.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. Hope to see you soon. Bless you. Signing off.
Thank you. No, thank you. Good to see you. Oh, I love your lockdown look. He looks a bit like mine as well. Lots of hair.
Well, I had to close the window, because the big garden at the back, But yeah, this is really good. This is really good. You had over 230 people. That's a lot.
Yeah, and the thing is that people have joined in groups as well. So some groups of 10, 5, 30. There are churches that have joined as a church, really. Cell groups have really joined this. So it's really cool. Total last week was 617.
My goodness.
Yeah, so for today's report, and I will see what it turns out to be.
My goodness, it's amazing.
Yeah. But thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Hi, Fred.
Bless you.
Sorry, how can I get the handbook that you were sharing earlier?
It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the YouTube channel. MS Careers, at MS Careers on YouTube. You find it there.
I mean the handout. Do you have any handout that I can read through also while you were presenting?
Oh, right, I see the workbook. So that was sent to your email. Did you not get it?
I got an email, but I didn't have the
There's a link on there. Look again. That's a link for you to click. It will download for you.
Oh,
Okay.
really? All right, no problem. Thanks a million.
All right. Thanks, guys. Signing out. Thank you.